Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Tyler Lozito. I am running for the honor of being the President of the United States of America. I am humbled to stand before you today doing just that. You have heard and will hear more speeches from other candidates throughout this campaign, and while some of them are admittedly impressive, it is my job to prove to you why I am the best choice for you, your families, and your country. So let's get down to business. When deciding on a leader, whether it's leader of a class project, a team, or yes, even the president, there are certain characteristics that we should look for, the biggest one being necessary skills and qualifications. What gives me or anyone the right to stand up here and say, I can be your president, I have what it takes? I am pleased to say that I am very qualified to say that. I was accepted into the School and Community Leadership Program, a 2-year course designed to instill and fine-tune leadership skills in young people so that they can properly and effectively hold leadership positions in the future. Throughout that class, I have had the pleasure of meeting new friends, working closely with people of different walks of life, and learning many skills that make a productive leader. Some of those skills being time management, mediation, diligence, and cooperation, all necessary characteristics of a successful leader. However, aside from this program, I still hold leadership positions. In 10th grade, I was the treasurer of Science Club. In 11th grade, I was re-elected as treasurer of Science Club and was also elected social media manager of Key Club. Now in 12th grade, I am the treasurer of Key Club, the treasurer of the National Italian Honor Society, and the president of Science Club. Who would be better qualified for the presidency than someone who has already been a president? These positions reinforce what I learned in the leadership program because I was able to put my skills to the test and see how I work under pressure. The fact that I returned to office after years of service speak for my skills enough. My extensive background and experience in leadership roles are just some of the many reasons I am confident in my ability to handle many different responsibilities at once and handle them properly. I also held a job in my sophomore and junior year at a debt collection law firm, working with adults much older than me. This taught me how to work on a tight schedule and manage consumers carefully and respectfully while representing a company. I will use that knowledge to work under the will of the people and represent our country with dignity and honor. All of these skills will be used by me throughout the presidency, and I will use them to further your will and your values. Because though I stand up here today in a fancy outfit behind a podium, giving a speech on why I am so much better than this person because of these reasons, in reality, I am no different than any of you. Anyone can get up here and do what I and my opponents are doing. I am a firm believer in humility. It has helped me grow through recognizing my own faults and working to better myself in aspects where I would fall. So yes, I am running for a higher office that would put me in a higher position in society's eyes than the rest of you if I'm elected. But in my eyes, I am no more special than the rest of you because we all share a common humanity. We all will rise, we all will fall. Together we can make the rises more rewarding and the falls less painful and more of a teachable moment. These are the philosophies with which I will conduct myself as president. We live in the greatest country in the world. Despite what anyone says, America is the greatest force for freedom, opportunity, and success the world has ever seen. However, as great as we are, we must always strive to be better. 3 aspects we need to discuss and improve upon are the state of our economy, the status of our education system, and our policies on threat to our security and interest. Policies on threat, The issue I believe to be the most important is fixing our education system. Because yes, making sure we have a stable economy and a safe country are very important, but in decades to come, if our children and our children's children are ill-equipped to handle those responsibilities, our country will suffer greatly. An educated population is essential to a nation's prosperity. The U.S. Department of Education reported that in 2016, about 84% of high school students graduated on time, and of that group, about 70% enrolled in a college that fall. While those figures seem impressive, we are still talking about a great many students without something as simple as a completed high school education. Statistically speaking, 1 student drops out of high school every 26 seconds. These statistics reveal the frightening reality that our education system fails many of our students on a regular basis. Students are becoming more complacent with failing grades, poor averages, and a lack of motivation to succeed. It is our job to reignite that passion in our youth so they may continue the legacies we leave behind and pave their own legacies worthy of their talents. I will work tirelessly to ensure that our education system no longer leaves students in the dust, giving every child their best chance to succeed. The economic state of our country is not representative of our status and power. Currently, our national debt is sitting well over $24 trillion, growing at a rate of $45 per second. Many websites track the progression of this debt, and I implore you to investigate yourselves so that you may see the severity of our debt with your own eyes. In 2014, when the debt was a measly $17.8 trillion, debt owed to foreign countries contributed to 34% of the total debt. Those numbers have only risen since then. While we are actively working to decrease our debt, we are actually still, to this day, spending more money than we actually have. For that reason, our debt will rise indefinitely. It is paramount that we cut spending to unnecessary programs that, while they may be important, play a small part in the security and safety of our country. We need to seriously reevaluate our budget, examine what is truly necessary and with what we can do without, and focus on recuperating our economy from the illness that is the debt. This is vital to the survival of our nation, because though it may not happen in our lifetimes, a time may indeed come where these nations call for our debts to be repaid, or another depression may occur. If our economy continues to take hits from the debt and unnecessary spending, our country may not be capable to recover. We must act now while we still have a chance. I will strive to cut unnecessary spending and focus our efforts on economic recovery, stability, and prosperity. As previously mentioned, America is the greatest country in the world. Because of this, we are all too often targets of attacks and terrorism from groups that would seek to undermine our values. Groups like ISIS have mobilized an army of self-proclaimed freedom fighters with the goal of forcing their ways of life onto others by any means necessary. For over a decade, ISIS has trampled anyone with the audacity to practice their natural rights and oppose their terrorist regime. In recent years, they made the mistake of sending terrorists to our country and murdering innocent civilians in an attempt to cripple us. These acts are unacceptable, they are despicable, and most importantly, they are not working. American resolve and grit are stronger than ever, and it is our job to honor those laws of terrorism by bringing the people responsible to justice. If elected, one of my goals is to either see the end of terrorism and ISIS in my term, or see that my successor is well equipped to complete that task. Threats to our way of life cannot and will not be taken lying down. That is a promise. Another threat to our interests is the communist country of North Korea. Their supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, has brainwashed his people into believing he is a gift from the gods and therefore a god himself. He has totalitarian control of the entire country, from the little media that is not censored to the rights of his people that are regularly violated. He has threatened nuclear war with us on many occasions. This has created a panic amongst the country and the world, fearing a nuclear apocalypse. No one would think that the Cold War era policy of mutually assured destruction would be enough to deter such madness, but North Korea is not letting up. Talks between President Trump and Kim Jong-un are scheduled, and peace talks may be on the way, but we must be ever vigilant of the fact that North Korea plays by its own rules. At the moment, their word means very little. Their actions will ultimately show whether they are interested in peace or war, and we must be ready for both options. As president, I will work to the full extent of my power to see a peaceful resolution to the North Korean conflict. However, if peace cannot be obtained, America will be ready to protect itself from North Korea and any group that dares to challenge our democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, the simple fact is that our country does so much good for the world that our survival is necessary for the survival of modern civilization. We need strong leaders with the guts to do what is necessary and the intelligence and grace to act in the best interests of you, the people. I am more than confident that with myself and my team in office, we will not let you down. Thank you all for listening and giving me this platform to express what I have to say.